to 58. This has been your weather report from the WSIC Weather Center.
Hi folks, Pat Shannon inviting you to join me for the Home Ad Show. We help you sell things, buy things, celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, and have a lot of fun in the process. Weekday mornings from 9 to 11, here on News Talk WSIC.
Leave that mic on again. And we're here. Good afternoon, Lake Norman region and beyond. Good afternoon. This is Justin Dionne here, coming at you live from the Cornelius Studio, WSIC, for this week's Know the Scene. Know the Scene here. Yeah, I got a little bit of live echo there, a little bit gain. Sounds like a little bit of gain or something in the sound. I wonder if I'm coming through a couple microphones. I don't know. But welcome, everybody. Welcome to this week's show. We've got a great show for you. Hope everybody's having a good week. We got a great guest here today, Anna Dean. We're going to tell you all about her in a moment, and have some great conversation with her today. But first, just want to talk about some great stuff we have going on here in Cornelius area and Lake Norman region, specifically at the Cain Center for the Arts. This weekend, we've got a great show with Kathy Mattea. Kathy Mattea, Grammy Award-winning country and bluegrass musician. She is phenomenal. If you've not, I'm sure you've heard of Kathy Mattea. If you have not, just pull out that iPhone or whatever you have in your pocket, whichever it is, whichever version it is, and just open that search bar and type in Kathy Mattea. And I guarantee you some great stuff will come up. We do have a few tickets left for this weekend show. Not many. It's getting kind of tight. So I would encourage you to go to cainarts.org and purchase those tickets before the show this Friday night. It's going to be a great show. Then next weekend, we've got some wonderful performances as well. On Friday night, October 13th, next weekend, we've got Jeff Allen, a wonderful comedian, big name, big guy coming in. I would tell you to buy tickets, but that would be leading you down the wrong path because it's sold out. That show is sold out. So sorry, but some cool news is that you heard it first here. You're going to hear it first here. Are you ready? Dropping the news. Jeff Allen's going to come back in the spring. So you cannot buy tickets to Jeff Allen's show for October the 13th. I'm sorry, it's sold out. But you can now, officially, you heard it here first, WSIC News. You can buy tickets. Yes, that's right. Hit the theme music. Give me my theme music. Dionne, baby. Right here, Dionne. Give me my theme music. You can buy tickets to Jeff Allen for the spring show that's going to come out. So get on and get those tickets. But we do have a wonderful performance next Saturday, October 14th, by the Charlotte Symphony coming up. And it's going to be a great program. If you are like intimidated by the symphony and that thing, which I can understand if you could be maybe like, I don't know, man, a symphony, classical music, awkward, Guess what? This is going to be a great show for you, specifically. Great entry show because the program that the symphony is bringing on October the 14th is going to have a lot of like music from movies and movie soundtracks and stuff like that. So it's going to have like the Jaws theme, Halloween kind of vibe there, a little Jaws. It's going to have like the whole suites from the Harry Potter movies. So like if you're a Harry Potter fan or someone in your family is a Harry Potter fan, bring them to the Cain Center next Saturday the 14th to hear the Charlotte Symphony perform like the whole Harry Potter suite. It'll be really cool. I've never heard it live like that. I'm excited to get there's something about the sound, and not just the sound, but like the energy and the vibrations of a full symphony, like playing all that music, and especially in a small space like Cain Center where you've got 400 seats. I mean, it's phenomenal. So those are some great things that are coming up. But today we're not talking about performing arts. That's why I had to get that out of the way first. Sorry. And I had to get that out of the way first. Have to do the things, plug the shows, hopefully sell some tickets.
Got it.
But we've got a great guest here today. We're going to talk about the visual arts today, about visual arts. So Know the Scene is our show here, and our goal is to help people know like what is that scene? Like when you say, yeah, man, the place got a cool scene. they got a little scene going on up there. Like, what does that mean, right? So today we're going to be talking about specifically visual arts in that realm, and more than that too, because you're more than just a visual artist. Like, you got something to say. You do. Like, so, and I want to talk about that. So Anna Grantine she has an exhibit right now at Cain Center for the Arts that is called The Art of Mechanics. It opened up at the beginning of September, and it is live at Cain Center through the end of October, so the end of this month. And if you haven't had a chance to see it, come up to Cain Center. You can see it. Anytime you go to see a show, the exhibit's open, the gallery's open, and Anna's artwork even moves and like permeates throughout the building and the lobbies and down the hallways. It's really neat. So also Cain Center does have public hours, Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you can just open to the public, free walk on in, and you can check out the exhibit there. So welcome to the show, Anna.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, you're our first visual artist.
Oh, wow. The pressure.
We're going to say that. Yes. Bring it on the pressure. You're our first here. I'm excited. I'm excited to have you on. Thanks so much for coming all the way up. Now, I'm sorry. I know you told me this like 2 weeks ago at the reception. You're in South Carolina?
I live in Fort Mill, but my studio is in Charlotte. So I had a studio day today, so I didn't have that far to travel.
Okay, good. But you still came all the way up, and you still got to drive all the way back to Fort Mill after this interview, right?
Yes, but it's a beautiful day.
You're right.
So I'm excited.
It is. It is. Anna and I were having some great conversation before the show about the weather, and we're in that like tricky fall time when like it's hot during the day, but you got to have a sweater for night or early in the morning. You know, that little light jacket early in the morning. It's nice. It's nice. Yeah, Bill's got that. Get the not quite full hoodie, but like zip up hoodie. Yeah, like that's what it is. So Anna, tell us all about kind of introduce yourself to everybody on the show and that's listening. So tell us about yourself. Where are you from? Fort Mill?
Originally moved here from Greenville, South Carolina. So we've been here since 2017. And we moved here for my husband's job, but I used that opportunity to go back and get my master's degree. So I went back to college at the ripe old age of like 42, which was kind of intimidating to put on a backpack and be back in the classroom after all those years. But it's the best thing I ever did for myself, to invest in myself and to give it a go as an artist is something that I've always done, but to do it seriously. So it's been a really great move to be up here.
Great. So what did you study for your graduate program?
I got a master's in fine arts, which is a terminal degree. So it's a 60-hour program, so it's pretty intense.
Yeah, it's a full one.
Yeah, and we don't have to. You can't get a PhD for fine art, so it's as high as you can go. So it's a really intense program, but we don't have to declare a program of study, and that's good because, as you've seen, if you've seen my show, I can't seem to stick with one art form. I can't just stick with painting or drawing. So I'm considered an interdisciplinary artist, which means I dabble in a lot of different things.
I like that. I think that's one of the cool things. I think one of the reasons your stuff works so well at the Cain Center too, because I think that's kind of us as well.
Right.
Like Cain Center, we dabble in a little bit of everything. So all right. Well, we just started getting to talk with Anna, but we've got a lot of time left. So we're going to go to a break real quick, and then everybody come on back. We're going to talk more about Anna, about her art. I want to hear about her journey. You guys can hear about her journey to become an artist, what inspired her, and what made her want to be so multidisciplinary. So come on back. Know the scene after the break.
More Know the Scene with Cain Center for the Arts Executive Director Justin Dionne coming up on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Two-time Grammy Award winner Kathy Mattea is performing at Cain Center for the Arts in Cornelius this Friday. With more than 30 singles on the Billboard Hot Country Songs charts, including 4 that reached #1, Kathy Mattea is sure to impress. Doors open at 7 and the show starts at 8. Kathy Mattea, this Friday. CainArts.org. cainarts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Start your engines, racing fans. The Bank of America Roval 400 is back this weekend in Charlotte. Sunday, starting at 2 p.m., the Bank of America Roval 400 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Be sure to stay connected with WSIC on Facebook to have your chance at winning tickets. The last festival of food trucks of the season is this weekend in downtown Mooresville. It gets crowded. Bring your friends, your chairs, and your appetite. Festival of Food Trucks this weekend, downtown Mooresville. For more info, visit downtownmooresville.com. Foodies unite! Taste of Birkdale Village is back on Saturday, October 14th. Enjoy delicious bites from participating Birkdale Village restaurants. Must be 21 to attend. For more info, visit birkdalevillage.com. Taste of Birkdale Village, October 14th. Have an event you would like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
The Renaissance Festival is back! Saturdays and Sundays now through November 19th. Jousting nights, mermaids, fairies, dragons, oh my! Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last.
And now a look at your weather report from the WSIC Weather Center. Beautiful afternoon out there, mostly sunny skies, and your high temperature today will be around 81. As you head through the day into the evening time, mostly clear skies. Your overnight low will drop down to 58. This has been your weather report from the WSIC Weather Center.
Now more Know the Scene with Cain Center for the Arts Executive Director Justin Dionne on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
What is that? Sounded like me playing an instrument at home. Welcome back, everybody. We're back. Know the Scene. I switched microphones. Maybe it's a little bit better now. I think so, Bill. Thanks, Bill. Billy on the sticks. Billy boy. He's a good guy. Guys, Bill Blakely running the producer. Are you producer of the show? Is that like the term? Would that kind of be the term, Bill?
Yeah, just pretending.
Pretending. Nah, he's great. Bill's great. Guys, you should make sure to give Bill the Bill's very crucial to everything here at WSIC, guys. Big dog. Well, all right. Well, welcome back. We're here talking with Miss Anna Dean. And really great to have, again, you on the show, Anna. And we got to just barely touch before the break about, like, what, you came to Charlotte from Greenville. Now, is Greenville where you're from?
Pretty much.
Like born and raised?
Yeah. I mean, we grew up in a small town in Easley, South Carolina. If you've ever heard of that. It's really tiny. So it's just right outside Greenville. So basically, I'm a Greenville native. Okay.
I know Travelers Rest.
It's beautiful.
Some TR?
Yeah. It's pretty up there.
I've camped there. I've camped at Travelers Rest, and then went into Greenville and enjoyed Greenville.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. So you're Carolina native.
Yes, I am.
Right, South Carolina, and to this area because Greenville's not too far away.
Nope, 2 hours
at all. So there, growing up in Greenville area, and that area of South Carolina, like when did you, was art something that you encountered early? I guess, right? Like when did you have your kind of spark?
So my mom was an artist, an incredible painter. She didn't make art anything like my art. She was mostly a naturalist painter, so she painted these super realistic watercolors of birds and plants. And she passed away when I was 8 years old. So my earliest memories of her were sitting in our shag carpet downstairs in the basement, and she had a blank piece of white paper, and she would draw a curve and then another arc, and with just a few strokes, that blank piece of paper became a rabbit that was so lifelike that it could leap off the page. And to me, as a kid, that was magic, just to take a blank piece of paper and create something that wasn't there before. So I tell people I've been chasing that rabbit my whole life. All I've ever wanted to do is make art, and just be creative. And I always had access to great art supplies, and I always had wonderful art teachers. And then I went to the South Carolina Governor's School for the Arts, which is a residential program where you go live with other kids that are serious about art.
Is that like a summer program? I think the one in North Carolina they have is like during the summer.
It's now a year-round school.
Oh, nice.
At the time that I attended, they were still raising funds for that, so I lived on Furman campus. So yes, I was there when it was the summer, but it's now a year-round program.
That's great.
So,
So we jumped, but so your mom's an artist, passes away when you're young, and you I guess were inspired by her and the experience of her artistry and talent to continue to pursue art and what you had like teachers, maybe a teacher that really embraced you, that helped you kind of know about these opportunities, because things like governor's school and things like that, you don't just fall into that.
Right.
I mean, someone has to have recommended you. If I remember correctly, like, I mean, I didn't do governor's school, but I have a couple friends that did. And, I mean, they usually had a someone along the way who really nudged them, maybe.
Yes.
Right?
I had great teachers all the way through, but my high school teacher is Ann Bishop, who's an incredible artist, and she's pushed a lot of people. We had a lot of people that I went to high school with that are now doing amazing things in the arts, mostly thanks to her.
And what was your high school?
A Wren High School, which is, it's kind of in between Greenville and Clemson.
Okay.
The best way to explain it.
Wren High School?
Wren High School. Like
Shout out Wren High School.
Yep, shout out Wren.
All right. They had great art teachers.
Yes, Ann Bishop, who's no longer there, but she was incredible, and she encouraged me to apply to the governor's school, which was life-changing. Growing up in a small town and being kind of the weird art kid, it's easy to feel like you're this, square peg. So finding a school with all these other kids that were passionate like I was, it just really opened your eyes that there are other people out there that have big ideas and are passionate about what they do.
What kind of things would you say what are there any key maybe classes or sessions or moments that when you were at that governor's school that were like aha moments for you? Or was it just the whole thing in general, right? I mean, were there any that were really stand out in your mind?
I think honestly the whole experience, just being in a room with other kids. I feel like, small town high school, it's all about football and popularity and gossip, and art kids don't really care about that stuff. Like, art kids are busy thinking about big ideas and questions and laying outside on the stars, laying outside on the grassy lawn at Furman's campus and looking at the stars and just having meaningful conversations, and also being exposed to these incredible professors. They brought in Paul Pliszka from the Metropolitan Opera.
Oh, wow.
We just had, these amazing performances that we were exposed to that you wouldn't have gotten at your regular high school.
And those inspired you as a visual artist as well.
Yeah, and that's, I've never considered myself just a visual artist, like you said. I've always been interested in music and dance and drama, but also science and math, and the intersection between all of those things. That's where I get excited.
Yeah, so. I 100%. I love that. Like, I agree with that. I think that we were talking a little bit about at the beginning, and we, and people who have maybe listened to this show have heard me say that this is my mission, right? Is to help people see the art in everything.
Right.
Right? That art is not just, it's not linear even. It's not just one thing. It's not, excuse the phrase, but like literally it's not black and white.
Right.
Right? It is so many things.
Especially
so I love hearing you talk about
art.
that.
Mm-hmm. And contemporary art now, I mean, if you go see the show at the Cain Center that's up now, I'm not just, like I said, it's not just paintings or drawings. I don't want people to feel like they have to stand apart and look at this precious thing on the wall or on a white pedestal. I really want my art that I make to be interactive. I want people to feel like they are a part of the work, and that they're not separate from the work. That the art is part of everything in the space. So I really love that you guys are incorporating visual art into a traditional, more performing art space. I think it's really important.
Yeah, so I want to take it back for a minute because you were mentioning your mom having more of that traditional watercolor, you know, and gosh, what's the word that you said it was? Like, what she painted?
Realism.
Realism. Yeah, sorry, realism. Right, and your stuff is not that, right?
Right.
Which is great. So, what do you think helped lead to that? Like, was there something that like switched for you that said like, because I guess, you know, for a lot of people in my experience with artists and in art, to break the rules, a lot of times you got to learn them first.
Right.
Right. You have to spend that time getting disciplined enough, because then it also like learning all the rules and the ropes well enough is what then allows you to free yourself to then stretch to the next thing.
Right.
So what was there a point, or what age do you think you kind of were like, I don't think I'm a traditional artist?
Yeah. So, well, I've never been like normal. So, I mean, that's
no one's normal.
Right.
Come on, Anna. No one's normal.
But I did prior to grad school, my work was actually figurative. Like, I was painting hyper realistic imagery, believe it or not.
Really? I'd love to see that.
Yeah, I did a series of kids wearing gas masks, but looked like a photograph, but it was a painting.
Wow.
And
was it oil? Was it what was
mostly acrylic? I don't really have the patience for oils.
Okay.
Like, I work pretty quickly. And I was making a series of work when I was my first semester at grad school. And it was in response to the 2016 election, and I was pretty upset about that. And so I was illustrating sort of my emotions and what I thought about that. And my professor came up to me and he said, Anna, why, and he's British, so he's very charming. He said, why are you illustrating your anger? Why don't you throw tar at it or mud or set it on fire? Why are you illustrating how you feel? And that was a real turning point for me, because it really made me challenge, why was I painting figuratively? He also said to me in a different conversation, if you already know what the work is going to be before you create it, then why do you even need to make it? Which is a really good
Such
point.
an art teacher thing to say.
Right, because if you can see it...
But it still has to be made.
If you can see it that clearly in your head, then why do you even need to bring it into existence? Which was a really good point. And I think for a long time, the reason that I worked so figuratively and so realistically is because in the South, I feel like most people recognize art that looks like the thing that it's supposed to look like. Like,
Sure.
If you can paint a portrait and make it look like that person, then people say, oh, you're a really good artist. Like, that looks like this person or this vase of flowers or this dog. But I think I needed to do that to prove to myself that I was an artist. Like, I needed to prove to myself that I could paint. But at some point, like, why am I doing it? All I'm learning from this exercise is how to match this color or how to match this value or how to make it look exactly like this photo. I'm not learning anything else through this process. So opening it up to becoming more of an abstract, process-based art form allows me to learn from the artwork itself. It informs me. Whereas before, it was all like an Anna show. It was me trying to prove myself. It was just about the skill. I wasn't learning anything from it. I had reached a point where I was like, okay, I know how to paint. Like, I don't have to keep doing this over and over again.
But that's it. I mean, that sounds like it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just like, I mean, that's it. That was, I mean, just like you said, that was your moment. I mean,
Yeah.
that was because you had gotten to a point where you you're painting things that are so hyper realistic, and so is this that you're like, this doesn't challenge me anymore, maybe.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I have to now stretch this into something else and now really explore that. So, all right, well, we're going to go to another break, and we're going to explore more after the break. Thanks for listening, everybody. Know This Scene's coming right back with artist Anna Dionne.
More Know the Scene with Cain Center for the Arts Executive Director Justin Dionne coming up on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
This is Fred Lowry at Lowry Drug. We now have our own brand of full-spectrum hemp extract, also known as CBD oil. I personally manage this product as it was grown on my farm here in Iredell County. It was then processed and bottled here in Statesville. This is a true herbal extract with all the medicinal components intact. A product you can trust to be authentic. And since there is no wholesaler, it's at a price you can afford. Try it at Lowry Drug on Hartness Road in Statesville.
And now a look at your weather report from the WSIC Weather Center. Beautiful afternoon out there, mostly sunny skies, and your high temperature today will be around 81. As you head through the day into the evening time, mostly clear skies. Your overnight low will drop down to 58. This has been your weather report from the WSIC Weather Center.
Could you use a little extra money right now? If you'd like to borrow up to $100,000 and get pre-approved in minutes, call the number we'll give you at the end of this commercial. Our lending partners have already loaned millions of dollars to individuals just like you, and we're ready to lend you up to $100,000 if you qualify. Even if your credit is not perfect, you could use the money to pay off high-interest credit cards, for home renovations, or consolidate existing debt. You can get flexible, easy-to-pay terms. The consultation to find out if you qualify is free. To find out if you qualify for our special financing program, call this toll-free number 24 hours a day. 800-215-0703. 800-215-0703. 800-215-0703. That's 800-215-0703. Important terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Loan amount, annual percentage rate, and term will vary depending on creditworthiness. Applying does not guarantee approval. Account approval is subject to verification and confirmation of your credit history and acceptance by a lender. If you choose to apply for a loan through us, a consumer report will be obtained to evaluate your credit.
Folks, you know Randy Marion sells vehicles the King of Price way, but did you know our service department? We service vehicles the King of Price way. We sell tires, we sell brakes, we sell batteries, we sell the maintenance. We help you keep your vehicle on the road safe, ready to drive. Whatever the season is, Randy Marion service departments have you covered. Come see us today because, folks, again, you know we sell the King of Price way and we do service the King of Price way.
King of Price, RandyMarionStatesville.com.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Know the Scene continues. Here's your host, Cain Center for the Arts Executive Director Justin Dionne on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
That's my lit. That's like my lit. They can't give me the, from what I understand, that's, the radio station can't give me like real songs, like by the actual artists, like some, I don't know, copyright, something of another bureaucracy. But Bill has done his best to get me the vibes. He probably spent way too long searching for all these like.
We got to get that Weezer money, man.
That's right. I was trying to like Weezer. I was like, man, give me some Weezer, give me some this, give me some that. Because that's like my that's like my vibe. That's my time. And then he gets me that. But they're close enough, Bill. I think they're good. I think they sound good. So welcome back to everybody. Welcome back to Know the Scene. Tuesday, nice, beautiful weather. Tuesday afternoon, getting fallish. Mm-hmm. Fallish. I'm trying to decide if it's Fool's Fall, or if Fool's Fall already came and gone. There was like that 1 week where we had Fool's Fall, like 2 weeks ago, and it was like it's fall, and I was like, no, it's not. North Carolina Fool's Fall, guys. Get ready. Summer's going to come back and hit you again. You'll be at a December Panthers game in short sleeves because that's what happens, and probably, in a bad state because the Panthers are not doing great right now. But anyways, welcome back to Know the Scene here with artist Anna Dean. Real quick, thank you for listening to everybody. WSIC 105.9 FM, 100.9 FM, 1400 AM. If you'd like, you can watch the show on Facebook Live or YouTube Live. And if you aren't listening live, but listen later, you can listen on Apple Podcasts. So actually, why don't you go ahead and go to that app on your phone with that podcast and look up Know the Scene, WSIC, and smash that subscribe button. Smash that subscribe button so you will automatically every week get fresh Know the Scene episodes live on your phone. You can listen to it after. It's okay. You don't have to listen live. You can listen to it the morning after. It's a great show to listen to, I think, maybe at work, right? While you're like doing a little bit of work, having your coffee in the morning, or maybe that late afternoon, like drag at the end of the afternoon when you're like, man, I'm just trying to get through the last hour. Put on Know the Scene. It's good. It's good times. We got great guests like Anna, who's here talking about her artistic journey. Guys, she's a fantastic artist. If you have not gone to Cain Center, I'm just going to stop saying if you have not, because I'm just going to be real. I think most of you listeners haven't even been yet. So I'm going to just start saying, go to the Cain Center. Go to Cain Center. Go see Anna's exhibit. It's phenomenal. And one of the reasons it's phenomenal is Anna's art is phenomenal. And one of the reasons her art is phenomenal is because her approach to multidisciplinary styles of art. So I want to go back real quick. Before we talk about this exhibit specifically, I want to go back to the transition because we were kind of there. You were talking about when you had spent years and years, you'd gone to governor's school in South Carolina, you had gotten to, you were doing this, like you said, hyper realistic acrylic art that, if I understand what you said correctly, like you would look at it and people would maybe not understand that it was actually painted by your hand.
Right.
Like that realistic, right? But you have this moment where this professor pushes you in graduate school, and kind of says, well, if you're just going to do it like that, then what's the point of doing it, I guess, to summarize. And so that helped maybe nudge you toward the next step in your artistic evolution.
Right.
Which is to try different materials.
Yeah, I
right?
think
Something like that?
yes, and I think for me, now art is something that I don't go into it with like a preconceived idea of what this thing is going to look like. I go into my studio with a question. And so I go into the studio with a question, and then I find the materials that are the best, that offer the most interesting possibilities for me to examine that question. So every time I'm in the studio, I'm working with something different. Often I've never used it before, or if I've used it before, I've used it in a different way. So for example, at the Cain Center right now, there's a big sculpture and it's recirculating milk. Originally it was milk. And
is that real milk?
It was originally in the first sculpture, but obviously I can't have milk in there for,
right, because
3 months.
Stank.
So what I used is this stuff called magic milk that I have to get shipped from London.
What?
Because it's what magicians use when they're doing a magic trick and they want to make something look like
what?
milk.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I thought you just had some kind of I thought you made some kind of custom mixture at home or something and just had it in there.
That. I tried that, but it kept clogging the pump of the fountain, so I had to get the magic milk. So
that is so cool.
Yeah, and it's sitting in a 6
And you made that specifically for this exhibit?
Yes.
I mean, this milk stuff.
Yes.
Or you
found it.
You found it.
Yes.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah. So anyway, the reason that I used milk was because it was important for me to have a material that I felt represented something that was true. And being a mother myself, I feel like mother's milk is like the purest, truest thing that there is. I mean, every mother wants to be able to feed their child. Like that's it can't get more true than that, So when I was looking for a material that to me represented truth, I thought of milk. And so that's where I'm at now, like in my studio process. Like I think of an idea and then I keep playing with materials until I find the material, which is usually a non-traditional material. But I just find like there's more potential in that than to go to the art supply store and use paint. If you use oil paint, you're dragging along the history of the entire Western art movement of paint. And I'm just not interested in that. Like, I'm much more interested in, like, finding different materials. Like, the sculpture I have up right now at Brooklyn Collective in Charlotte is made out of thousands of COVID vaccine vials. So I'm much more interested in the potential of unexplored materials.
Cool. That's so interesting. And well, and the second piece that you have, she's got, so again, when you come, because you're listening and you're going to come, you come to Cain Center and see this exhibit before it leaves in November, early November. So you've got the piece in the gallery, I call like a horn type looking
memory hole.
Memory hole, yes, the memory hole with the milk. And then you've got the big circular piece in the center of the room, which is made of wood. And
CNC cut wood.
Yeah.
And then just threaded rod and bolts, and I singed the wood with a blowtorch.
Yes. And you've even got, but then you even did a custom projection.
Yep. So
right? That we project on the wall with a video.
Exactly. And that video is ink dropping through water. And I'm very interested. A lot of my work investigates ideas about chaos and order. And so when I was researching chaos, I was reading about fluid dynamics, because turbulence is something that's really unpredictable, and you can't really guess what kind of shapes turbulence is going to create. So I was measuring the exact amount of ink and dropping it into the same place in a tank of water over and over, but each time it would create different shapes. And in my research, I learned that human beings find order within symmetry, because our bodies are symmetrical. You have one eye on each side, one ear on each side. So when I take these really unusual, random, abstract, chaotic shapes and I make them symmetrical, people start to identify with them, and they say, oh, I see a face, I see a butterfly, I see a robot, whatever. And it becomes something identifiable. So it's really interesting to me to take this like chaotic, unpredictable shape, but then create something that becomes bodily. The human body and its interaction with my pieces is a really important part. Even though I'm working non-figuratively now, I do want the human body to be implicated, and that's why the scale of all of my pieces is usually really big, so that it immerses your body and you are encouraged to walk up to it, to look closely, to interact with it. So I do feel like the scale really plays an important role.
I love that. Well, and what's cool too is like sometimes I feel like sometimes this is from, me being I like art, obviously, but I do not claim to be an art aficionado, right? I do not claim to be able to wax poetic about what these textures or things, or
right.
Or whatever one might say, right? I definitely, but sometimes I feel like large pieces of art, sometimes can miss some of sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes really large pieces of art can miss some of the detail sometimes. But like your pieces have so much detail in them. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of intentionality and detail. And I don't want to say all artists don't do this. I know artists do. I know artists are intentional about it. And you and I were talking at the reception last week or two ago about your oil rig type piece, right? And how I had noticed something about that. So all right, well, we're going to talk more with Anna. One more break, and then we'll have one more section to talk with Anna here at the end. Know the Scene. We'll be right back.
Know the Scene with Cain Center for the Arts Executive Director Justin Dionne will return after this short break on WSIC.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Two-time Grammy Award winner Kathy Mattea is performing at Cain Center for the Arts in Cornelius this Friday. With more than 30 singles on the Billboard Hot Country Songs charts, including 4 that reached #1, Kathy Mattea is sure to impress. Doors open at 7 and the show starts at 8. Kathy Mattea, this Friday. CainArts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Start your engines, racing fans. The Bank of America Roval 400 is back this weekend in Charlotte. Sunday, starting at 2 p.m., the Bank of America Roval 400 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Be sure to stay connected with WSIC on Facebook to have your chance at winning tickets. The last festival of food trucks of the season is this weekend in downtown Mooresville. It gets crowded. Bring your friends, your chairs, and your appetite. Festival of Food Trucks this weekend, downtown Mooresville. For more info, visit downtownmooresville.com. Foodies Unite! Taste of Birkdale Village is back on Saturday, October 14th. Enjoy delicious bites from participating Birkdale Village restaurants. Must be 21 to attend. For more info, visit birkdalevillage.com. Taste of Birkdale Village, October 14th. Have an event you would like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
The Renaissance Festival is back Saturdays and Sundays now through November 19th. A non-stop outdoor family adventure. Huzzah! Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last.
And now look at your weather report from the WSIC Weather Center. Beautiful afternoon out there, mostly sunny skies, and your high temperature today will be around 81. As you head through the day into the evening time, mostly clear skies. Your overnight low will drop down to 58. This has been your weather report from the WSIC Weather Center.
Revitalize your landscape with ease. Experience hassle-free transformations with Drum Landscape Supply's swift and reliable delivery service. Visit drumlandscapesupply.com today. Drum Landscape Supply, your local one-stop landscape shop.
It's Know the Scene with Cain Center for the Arts Executive Director Justin Dionne on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
All right. A little chaos there. A little chaos theory in the music here. Listen, do you have a certain kind of, hey, do you listen to music when you, I assume you probably do.
Yeah.
What do you have a certain kind, or do you just kind of go, or are you being chaos theory about it and you just turn it on and whatever's on is whatever's going to happen that day?
I have like a playlist, but sometimes it just depends on the day.
Sure.
Just depends on what I'm feeling that day.
Yeah. Is it all kinds? I mean, like across the board of kinds of music, or is it kind of?
Yeah, it's a little it just really depends on the day. It could be Goose. I'm a big fan of Goose.
I don't know Goose.
They're awesome. Yeah, check them out.
I will. I'll have to check them out.
Jam bands, anything from that to like Wu-Tang to just a little bit of everything.
Yep. The woo. Got to. It's prophetic.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang is prophetic. A lot of that old school.
Yep.
Fugees.
Love the Fugees. Actually, the DJ from the Fugees played at one of my art shows when I was in Miami. I know. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
For
That
Miami
is
Art Week.
cool. I didn't go for you. That's awesome.
It was really fun.
Yeah. I bet. I bet. That's super cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all right. So back with Anna Dean. Last little segment here, guys. By the way, if you have any, if you have a question for Anna or anything and you want to call in, you can call 844-STUDIO-4. That's 844-788-3464. If you have a question for Anna. So, but I want to pivot us during the break. We were talking about this. You know, something I always like to highlight on this show is that people that are artists are also business people. They're also entrepreneurs. They're also, this is a thing. This is real, right? You can be an artist and be in business.
Yep. Pay your bills.
Right? Yeah. Pay your bills, you know, support your families, all those things. So you do that.
Mm-hmm.
You have a business. What is your business?
Anadine Art, LLC. Although I meet with my accountant in 2 weeks, I think we're switching it to an S Corp.
Okay.
But Anadine Art.
That's a
my
show.
Name of my business.
That's a show one day. I should bring in some artists and then like an accountant or an attorney to talk about the different business structures that you can have as an artist.
Be really valuable.
Okay. So how long has your business been like active? I mean, when did you first maybe start understanding that you could support yourself and others by doing this?
I graduated with my MFA. Prior to my MFA, I was focused mainly on teaching, and I was making art, and I was selling occasionally, but it wasn't really that big of an issue that I was having to worry so much about taxes. And then after I graduated from Winthrop, I became artist in residence at the McCall Center, which like stepped up my game instantly because all of a sudden I was selling these really big pieces to Atrium Health, and I started getting some pretty big opportunities. I did a huge public art project for Miracle Park and Rock Hill. And so I quickly learned that I've got to like get my life together and like get some help.
Because the tax man's coming.
Yes. And so I took a workshop through the South Carolina Arts Commission, I think it was. And they put me in touch with a local small business owner. He works at Winthrop, and he helps people with small businesses to get things set up and
That's
get your
great.
books in order and make a business plan and all that sort of stuff. So I met with him, and so I'm by no means an expert on all things business, but I do feel like I'm starting to get more consistent financial sales, and I'm starting to work with some bigger clients, and so things are starting to fall into place.
Yeah, and your savviness, right? I mean, you're starting to approach. You're thinking about it.
Right. There's just so many different paths you can take as an artist. And the problem is when you get out of, like, if you go to a trade school, you pretty much know if you get a degree in plumbing, you're going to get out and you're going to become a plumber and you're going to do great. But in art, you're treading fresh snow. There is no blueprint, right? There's millions of different ways that you can make a living, but you have to find the way that's true to you, that makes sense to you, where you feel valued and you don't feel like it was really important to me to be authentic and to not feel like I was just chasing the next sale. I didn't want to just keep cranking out the same pieces over and over again.
Right.
It's important to me that I feel like my work is still conceptually strong and that I'm passionate about what it means and not just the
no
price
prints.
tag on it. I don't make prints. I have made prints before for different fundraising, usually for fundraising. But I don't. My work just doesn't translate well into prints. It's
3D
textural.
It's textural. It's 3D.
Right.
It's 3D stuff. So tell me more, because I like tell the audience that's listening to, like, so what are some of the clients in the area, that you have created custom pieces, right?
Yes.
For.
So I have multiple kind of streams of income coming in from different projects, but I'm starting to do more big pieces. I love making big work anyway, and a lot of people don't
Define big.
Well, the stuff that's at the Cain Center right now, the oil derrick that you're talking about, which is called Ripple Effect, and it's on the top floor. It's an 18-foot long piece that goes 12 feet in the air. And so most people don't have a space in their home for a giant oil derrick that's going to lift up into their ceiling tiles. So I've found that working with hotels, working with apartment complexes, working with corporate clients, they have these really big spaces. And I've been really lucky to work with people that not only, they don't want a piece to decorate their space, they want something that can help their employees or the people that live there to stimulate different ideas and conversation. And I feel good about that. Like, it's something that I'm doing that's still conceptually true to myself, but it also is creating really big art that can make an impact on a lot of different people, and not just art people, not just white cube people that go to these, gallery openings. When you have art that's in an apartment complex or in a corporate space, lots of different people walk by and see it every day. So it creates different types of conversations.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
So I'm working right now on a project for a apartment complex in Charlotte, and it used to be the former life of this building. It was a coal and ice factory. So I'm making this sort of iceberg cloud pixelated sculpture, and it's these acrylic cubes, the top of which are filled with these beautiful old handwritten ledgers from the 1930s of the ice deliveries that left this building, and the bottom cubes are filled with crushed coal. So like the coal that's in the Cain Center right now, I'm reusing it, but in a different way. So it's going to be this really kind of beautiful, amorphous stack of these pixel cubes. That's what I was working on today right before I came here.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and I'm working on another project for a different apartment complex. It's going to be the biggest thing I've ever made. It's 30 feet by 30 feet long.
Wow.
And it's going to go about 30 feet in the air. And it's based on the flight patterns of birds. And the idea is that when you're flying home to roost at the end of your day, that you get out of this sort of repetitive pattern of your work day and you're coming home and you're going to be able to relax. So I've got these triangles that are like 4x4 triangles that'll be on this spiral, and then they kind of just break off into space. So it's really beautiful, and I'm really excited about that.
That is so cool. So listen up, folks out there. So if you're a business owner, or or if you're a business owner that has a large building, right, a large space, maybe it's a co-working space, maybe it's just a large, office building, or maybe it's a large, apartment place or something like that. Gotta be careful about that here. People get sensitive about apartment buildings coming in around here. Bill, was that careful? Bill's like, oh, there come the calls. But if no one's listening anyway, so if you are, you should reach out to Anna. Anna, how can people find you?
My website is annadineart.com, and I'm on Instagram at also annadineart.
Yeah, and they can contact you through there. And so how do you balance, it was interesting earlier you said a phrase that, I'm gonna butcher this a little bit. You said something to the extent of that, you got to the point where you were like, you like doing stuff where you can just let it be what it is, right? And kind of allow it to be free, if I'm saying that. I'm definitely kind of, screwing that up, but something to that extent.
Right.
So how do you approach someone coming to you and saying, we love your art, we're inspired, we have this big, great place, we want something that you do in it. How does that work?
So usually I'll meet with a client, and I love to hear their stories and like what's special to them, and I find something in that conversation that connects with me, because I have to connect with it. I'm not interested in creating somebody's logo or like making something that matches their carpet or whatever. Like I have no interest in that. But if there's some kind of thread that's running through the conversation that connects to me on some level, then I'll usually create. I'm a prototyper, so I like making prototypes, but I also use a 3D modeling program to make 3D renders so that they can visualize. Because I've learned that a lot of people can't really visualize what a sculpture is going to look like.
No, of course not.
So there's a program called Fusion 360.
Oh, that's cool.
Great.
I didn't know they had stuff like that.
Yeah, I can render it. I can put it in a
That's
space.
so neat. That's super cool.
Yeah, technology.
All right. integrating technology into art even. Who'd have thunk?
STEAM.
Who'd have thunk? Yeah. Well, all right. Well, Anna, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
It's really been an honor to have you here. Folks, hope you've enjoyed listening to Anna. Again, annadineart.com.
Yes.
Right? annadineart.com. Follow her on Instagram as well and everything. Come see her exhibit at the Cain Center running through the end of October. Come see a show and see the exhibit, or just come by during the day and see an exhibit. Come sit down in that beautiful lobby, do some work, and enjoy some art and have conversation around it.
Yes.
All right? So thank you again for coming. Thanks for listening to Know the Scene, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Thank you so much.
The new